Good morning, everyone. My name is Kelly Kane, and I'm the Marketing Manager for Wonderware NorCal. Thank you for attending our webinar today, Next Generation Video Monitoring. After the webinar this morning, we will be doing a short Q&A. Please type any questions or comments into the Q&A box, the chat box, or email us at webinar@norcal.wonderware.com. Now I'd like to introduce your presenter for today's webinar, Greg Santos. Greg is the Business Development Manager for the LongWatch Division of Industrial Video and Control and has over 8 years of experience helping customers with industrial surveillance and monitoring solutions for security, productivity, and safety applications. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to Greg. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning. Thanks, Kelly. So thanks, everyone, for joining. Today I'm going to be talking about the LongWatch solution as well as the overall industrial video and control solution. So to give you a little background on where we come from and what our focus is, we were founded by the creators of a SCADA platform called Intrusion. And Intrusion was sold to GE, and at that point, the founders and the engineers started LongWatch, which was acquired by Industrial Video and Control. So really, the point I'm trying to make is we're process control guys that are brought into the video world. We're not the typical video solution provider that you'll find out there that does, like ADT or something that does a mall or a casino monitoring or surveillance. We're really process control engineers that are bringing video into the process control world as another type of data that can be used to understand systems in greater detail and really protect your assets in an industrial nature. So to start off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the product and give you a brief tour of the LongWatch solution so you can kind of understand the functionality and the features that I'm going to be talking about today. So what you're looking at here is the LongWatch viewer. And the LongWatch viewer is a web-based interface. All of these different windows that you see here can be integrated into the Wonderware platform. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just blow up the screen here. And in the top left-hand corner, what you'll see is a system tree. Okay, and this just breaks down the hierarchy of the LongWatch system. The units folder that's a folder that contains our DVRs, our NVRs, our video recorders. Okay, and these video recorders are appliances that can reside at remote sites right inside the PLC cabinet, or you can install our software on your server and have that video recording done centrally on a server at your plant. If I expand that DVR, you can see all of the different cameras that are connected to it. And I can just click on a camera and it will pop up in this box right here called the View Builder. Anything inside this box will show the video on the right-hand side of the screen. So I can just click on a camera, drag and drop different cameras into this box, and it'll automatically size the screen and show me exactly which cameras I have chosen. Now, on the right-hand side of the screen, you're seeing something called the Confo Recorder, and this is an add-on to the LongWatch system. What it does is instead of pointing our DVR or NVR to the IP address of a camera to record video from the camera, we point it to the IP address of a computer, and it records the computer screen over the network. So now what I'm doing is I'm seeing my plant floor and my operator screen side by side live. I'm viewing them live. So this allows you to not only see your equipment, machinery, your processes, but also what your operators are doing and how they're interacting with the system. Okay, so I'm viewing live video now. Some of the things I can do in live video is I could draw a box on the screen and zoom in digitally to see what's going on with my equipment, with my process. I can right-click on the screen and choose Process Data Overlay. So in this case, what we're seeing here is just across here as I put where the robot is inserting material and a batch ID, so which batch the robot's working on. And this is all data that's brought in from the Wonderware system or your PLC or RTU and overlaid on top of the video image to give you more context as to what's happening with your processes. Okay, so right now I'm in live mode, but what I can do is go back in time. All right, now hit this DVR button, and it pops up the box and says, okay, which day, and I can choose whatever day I want, and what time do you want to go look at? So I'll say I just want to go back a few minutes, and I'll hit submit. And now my system is accessing my recorded video that resides on my video engine, on my DVR. And there it is. So this is video from a few minutes ago. Okay, so now I can play this video back. I can use this slider control here on the bottom to go back in time or forward in time and find that video that's important to me. Okay? And that's typical of, you know, any video system that you'll see out there has similar capability to go back in time. This isn't anything special. But what I do want to show you is something that I think is pretty special, and this is the Process Events tab here at the top. Now, the Process Events tab is a list of events that occurred on your SCADA system, on your Wonderware system, on your MES system. And we've imported these events into our system, okay? And once you have a list of events, and this could be anything from the creation of a product to the swipe of a badge when someone, you know, uses their access control card to enter a facility. This could be alarms and events. So when you have a stoppage or you have a high flow or high temperature, any type of event that's important to you will come into this screen right here. Okay, now once we have all of these events in our system, all we have to do is click on that event, and you'll see my video just jumped right back to the time that event occurred. So I can step through the creation of a process. I can step through each one of my events or alarms and see exactly what was happening at that time. I don't have to go back and look at an event and when that happened and take that time and type it in. What we're doing here is we're automatically bookmarking our recorded video with important events that happened on your system. Okay, so we're correlating process data with video to give you that visual element. And you always hear, you know, a picture's worth 1,000 words. It's true. The video image that we're showing you here can be more meaningful and help your operators understand the process in much more detail than just these data points on your screen. Okay, so that's one way that we correlate process data with video in our system. The other way I'm going to show you right now is through historical data. Okay, so here at the top, you'll see I have a tab called Historian Client. So in the LongWatch interface, we have a special tab that you can add that brings in the Wonderware Historian Client, and there it is. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to choose a camera. I'll choose my operator screen. I'll go back in time. Let's say just a few minutes. And hit submit. And my system is going and retrieving that video from the video engine, wherever that may be, on my server or at my remote site. And now what I can do is I can link the time of my trend chart with the time of my video, and I do that through this video link button. When I enable that, you'll see the time jumps. And now 1:05:36 p.m. time of my chart is the same time of my video. So if I saw an anomaly in my data here, or I saw a spike in my data, and I wanted to see what was going on during that spike, all I have to do is bring the slider control over towards that spike, and you'll see my video is fast forwarding. Or if I go back in time, my video is rewinding and staying in sync with my data. So in one screen, in the LongWatch interface, in one screen, you can see your process data values at a given point in time, what your plant floor looked like, what your processes look like, and what your operator screen looked like, all synced together down to the millisecond to give you better understanding of your system, to help you troubleshoot issues and get to the root cause of issues quickly, to make sure you don't repeat mistakes, and to incrementally improve your process by bringing this new type of data into your system, and that new type of data is video, visual information. Okay, so that's some of the features of the LongWatch software. Let's talk about the entire system now. So what I'm going to do is go back here to my slide deck and talk to you a little bit about industrial video and control and what we do really as a company, which is very unique out there. So why do customers use IVC video solutions? So, you know, what are the different applications where we're really used quite widely? And the first one's remote monitoring visual verification. Okay, this is a simple one, and this can be applied to anything: water, wastewater, utilities, municipalities, oil and gas, any type of application where you have remote sites that you want to view and you want to understand what's happening with that system, protect that system for security, and bring that video back, possibly insert it into your HMI screens or view it through the web or through your iPhone. Okay, remote monitoring, visual verification of events. Then we have surveillance and security, and this can be anything. Okay, so we do any type of plant. You know, Tesla Motors is one of our customers. We do City of Santa Clara, or Central Contra Costa uses our system for surveillance and security to be able to secure the outside of a facility, make sure you know what's going on, and make sure it's safe. Operational efficiency and cost savings. So this is more of what I just showed you in the demo, which is being able to understand your processing, your manufacturing in much more detail, incrementally improve your process, reduce downtime. All of that is in the operational efficiency realm. And then regulatory compliance and worker safety. So monitoring hazardous areas, making sure you understand what your workers are doing if they're in safe areas, and recording areas for regulatory compliance. So those are some of the reasons why customers choose IVC. And really, what our system is all about is it's a combined solution of rugged, scalable, cost-effective cameras with our LongWatch video management software. And all of the cameras and the software are manufactured under the same roof. So you have one number to call for support. You know that your hardware is going to work with your software, it's going to be supported, and all of that really falls under the Wonderware umbrella. So it's a really nice overall solution that you can count on will be there for you, and is one number to call. So the main reasons customers choose us: our software is tailored to industrial applications, it's customizable camera solutions for industrial applications, complete integration into process control systems, and we provide world-class support for our entire solution. These are some of the categories where we fit in: military, marine, hazardous area, industrial, petrochemical, any type of remote monitoring, like I said before, and public utilities. All of our hardware is made in the USA. We have ISO 9001 certified, as well as Intertech certification and FM approval. So all of our hardware is rigorously certified. We have a whole line of cameras to choose from, just typical indoor, outdoor cameras, fixed or pan tilt zoom, multi-imaging cameras, a whole line of ruggedized hazardous area cameras, so class 1, div 1, div 2 cameras, higher, low temperature, marine, thermal, and rapid deploy units. So that can be deployed quickly for construction site monitoring, or you want to move a camera around to different locations quickly. And all of our cameras can be customized. So we can build our cameras to exactly meet your requirements. And we've done that for a lot of different customers. And these are just some examples. portable fuel tank inspection camera that can be lowered into a fuel tank instead of having someone climb in there and see what's going on and endanger them. Wireless locomotive rear view camera to allow the conductor to see areas he couldn't see before. Covert cameras, so they blend with the environment. That's what you see here with this high voltage box. This is actually a camera that's looking out. Extreme weather, so desert hot or Arctic cold environments, high vibration environments. All of our cameras can be customized with, you know, if you want a direct fiber port, for example, instead of having an Ethernet cable, we can do that. Any input voltage, we can customize our cameras to do that, and that makes us very unique. Not a lot of camera manufacturers out there will really tailor their hardware to your solution as far as we can do it. All right, so that's the camera side of things, and really that's, you know, to add to the complete solution, you really need a camera hardware to be tailored to your solution and to work with the software. But let's talk about the LongWatch software side. And what are the main components of the LongWatch system? So we talked about that briefly. The first component, or the first half of the LongWatch system is what we call the video engine. And again, the video engine is an industrial DVR. And we have 3 different flavors of video engine that we offer. We have an appliance-based video engine, and this video engine can do 6 cameras. 6 cameras can be connected to it. We have a software-only version, and you can connect as many cameras as you want to the software version. And then we have a smaller appliance called the micro video engine, and that does 2 cameras. So that's for remote assets, remote sites where you probably have 1 or 2 cameras out there. So that's the first half of the LongWatch system, is the video engine component, the DVR component. It communicates to the PLC or RTU, it communicates to access control devices out there, and it's recording video 24/7. The other half of the LongWatch system is the video control center, okay? And this is the software that's installed centrally that communicates to all the different video engines out there and brings that video back to one location where you can view all the video, play that video back, all the alarms and events come back to the central location. The SCADA integration components reside here, and it's where you configure the entire system. You never have to go out to a remote site or a remote part of your plant to configure a camera. You can do that centrally, and then those configuration parameters are propagated down to each location. So let's see how LongWatch would fit in to an existing network architecture, okay? So this is an implant architecture. So the first thing we do is install our video control center. Okay, you have your SCADA system here. You have your HMI. We're showing live video on the HMI to help operators control different processes and understand their system. So we install the video control center. That's the first half of the system. The second half, the video engine, can be installed on a server centrally, and all the cameras, video feeds go back to the video engine, and the video is being recorded on the server. Okay, so that's the first example of the video engine. We could say on another area in your plant floor, for example, we'll have our video engine appliance. All the cameras are connected to that. The video engine appliance is communicating to the PLC through Modbus TCP. So the PLC can control the video engine. It can send commands to start or stop recording, to create video clips, small pieces of video around events, to arm and disarm the system, to move a camera to a certain location. So because of this interface, the LongWatch system becomes an extension of your existing process control system. Okay, we also have an OPC server on our video control center side. So you can use FS Gateway, your OPC client on your SCADA system to send commands through OPC and control the LongWatch system that way. We also have a standalone web-based interface that we just showed you, as well as a tablet interface and an iPhone app. So you can view your video from your cameras on your iPhone. You can view your video of your HMI screen on your iPhone. All right, so this is an implant architecture. How about remote monitoring? So remote monitoring is a little bit different. So what we do here is we have the same type of setup where we have our SCADA system in the control room. It's communicating wirelessly to a remote site where there's a PLC or RTU. First thing we do is install the video control center. That's installed on the same network as the SCADA system again. At the remote site, we install our video engine appliance and we connect our cameras to it. And a lot of our cameras can act as a sensor. So our cameras can detect movement, it can detect leaks. And when the camera detects an event, it triggers an alarm and records a piece of video on the video engine. That video engine then sends the alarm to the PLC or RTU. Then alarm goes back to the operator screen and is inserted into the operator's alarm summary. Our video goes back to the video control center, and then the operator is presented with a pop-up window showing the alarm and the video clip immediately. And that allows him to immediately assess the situation and respond to it appropriately. That's the best way to do remote monitoring. Okay, we also have our standalone web-based interface, our tablet and iPhone app. Now, why do we put this video engine at the remote site? And there's a couple different reasons, but they're very important. First, the video engine is recording video 24/7. It does not rely on this wireless connection. So if this radio or cellular gateway or satellite system out there goes down, the video engine is autonomous. It's still recording video. It's still creating event clips. It's still sending alarms and communicating to the PLC. All of that is being done without a network connection. So having that recording at the edge where your cameras are is very important. The second reason we put it out there is because of bandwidth requirements. It's the most efficient way to have a video system on low bandwidth networks. We don't use that wireless network unless an event occurs or someone wants to view live video. Otherwise, we're not using this network at all. And that's why we have customers on 9600 baud serial radio networks still able to record video at the edge and send video clips back. Even, it doesn't matter, whatever bandwidth you have, we can support that and work on. Okay, so that's some of the reasons we've architected the system the way we have. So let me tell you a quick story about visualizing remote stations. Okay, and this is, these are pumping stations for a water municipality. There was 8 extremely remote sites, low bandwidth radio communication. Some of these sites were close to residential areas. Some of these sites were in the middle of nowhere and very susceptible to theft and vandalism. Okay, so what we did was, in the control room, we installed our video control center software at each remote site. We installed one of our video engines and our cameras. And here's the PLC cabinet. You can see they're using a GE-RX3i PLC. PoE midspan, so all of our cameras can be powered over Ethernet, and that makes installation very cost-effective and easy. All you have to do is mount the camera and plug in a Cat5 cable. So these PoE midspans inject the power onto the cable so that you can power your cameras through a Cat5 cable. And then our video engine, all of that in the side of the panel here. There were 2 cameras, each getting a different view of that remote location, and this is the web-based interface we have at the remote site. So while you're at the remote site performing maintenance, you can look at the cameras live. We also have intrusion detection systems that we offer. So motion detection systems. This is a fence vibration detection system. And what you do is you have a little box that you mount on the fence, and you run a wire through the fence. This box plugs into our video engine, and it will alert the video engine exactly what part of the fence is vibrating. So if you have someone trying to climb the fence or cut through the fence, you're going to get that alert. LongWatch is going to get it and move that camera directly to that location on the fence line, create a video clip, and send that video clip up to be assessed by the operator. So some pretty cool intrusion detection devices which I think are essential for remote monitoring, or at least part of that overall solution. Here's some examples of HMI integration. Okay, so you'll see this is an HMI screen. With our video windows, you can just drag and drop them into InTouch or system platform. Our system comes with templates that help you get started with designing your system. And you'll see that these video images have overlaid data. This is part of our process data overlay functionality I showed earlier. So showing pump rate, activity, water level, all of that on top of the video image to give you a more immersive image in more detail in the form of process data on top of the video image. Here's one of our customers' HMI screens. This was put on a large format monitor, 42-inch, I believe, and mounted above the operator stations. And this was a Wonderware screen. They just dragged and dropped, created a grid, and just created some logic so that if there was an alarm, it would highlight that area and give them an alarm condition so they could click on that video image and bring it up full screen and see what's happening out there. We talked about it briefly, and I showed it to you in the presentation. The Confo Recorder add-on to our system allows you to record your operator screens or any monitor that you want over the network. It's as if a camera is pointed at the operator screen, so it shows everything that's happening on that screen. And we call it the flight data recorder for your plant's cockpit, which are the control room displays. So it records everything happening, mouse movements, data that's being entered in. If the operator brings up a spreadsheet or another program, it's going to show that. And it's a useful training tool. So improving the efficiency of your operators, bringing on new operators and training them, showing them the right things to do. You can record pieces of video and save those away for training purposes to help the operators understand what's the best thing to do when this type of event occurs. So the applications where the Confo Recorder, I think, really shines through during a shutdown or an upset. What was the root cause? Get to the root cause quickly. Equipment or production line issues, reduce downtime. During a planned shutdown or a restart. So, you always have a planned shutdown where you're going to replace equipment or upgrade the software. The Confo Recorder and the video cameras can record that entire process. A lot of times you have a planned shutdown for an upgrade. You start it up and it's not working the way it used to. So you can understand and go back in time to see what was done. Training, so non-invasive operator monitoring. You don't have to look over the shoulder of your new operator. You can view his screen live from your desk or go back in time to see what he did at any point. Troubleshooting. So the scenario I always hear the most is, my operator said he didn't get the alarm, that's why he didn't acknowledge it. And I can't tell if he did or if he didn't. The HMI says it was there, but he's saying he didn't see it. So you'll be able to go back in time by just clicking on that alarm. It'll bring up the operator screen exactly at that time when the alarm occurred. In real-time remote assistance, that's read-only. Okay, so what I mean by read-only is you can look at your operator screen from your house or while you're on the road. And it's read-only, meaning it's not a remote desktop connection. It's not allowing control of that screen. Again, it's as if a camera's pointed at the screen. So you're not allowing a control element. It's just a video stream that's being sent to your device to be viewed. Okay, and this is just some other examples of our process data overlay capability. Obviously, in manufacturing environments, it can be very useful. This is a video clip showing two different fans, and what we're doing is overlaying fan speed. But you can see in LongWatch, you can set threshold tables or limits. And if the data gets above or below that limit, we can change the font color, draw a circle around, different components to alert the operator and give them more context as to what's happening with that piece of equipment. All right, so let's talk about some manufacturing customers. I'm going to start off by talking about some metals manufacturing customers that we have and why they're using our product and how they're using our product. So the first one is a customer called ArcelorMittal. and they're using one of our camera products that we call the ladle cam, okay? And basically these big ladles that carry molten metal are brought throughout the plant to distribute that molten metal to different molds and different casting areas. And a leaking ladle can cause a lot of damage and catastrophic damage. And the tough part is that that ladle is not going to visibly show any hot spots where leaks can occur. You have to be able to detect those leaks or those hot spots with a thermal camera, and that's what we do. So you'll see, here's the ladle image on the left. The image on the right is the thermal image of that ladle, and we're measuring different temperatures. You can draw lines with our ladle camera on the screen, and anything that goes through that line will give you the temperature. And we're displaying that temperature on the screen. This temperature can also be sent back to Wonderware, the Wonderware historian, to historize all that data, and we'll create alarms on thresholds. So if there is a hotspot developing, we'll immediately send an alarm to your Wonderware system and create a video clip, send that to the operator to show them exactly where that hotspot is. And that's, you know, part of our thermal line. This is our radiometric thermal camera, and radiometric basically means we're measuring temperature and we're allowing you to see that temperature, that you can store it or view it live. And it's really for any type of industrial monitoring. So it monitors temperatures from multiple zones. All you have to do is draw a box on the screen. You can have multiple boxes. Anything inside that box will measure the temperature, and you can set threshold levels, again, so that if anything gets too hot inside that box, we'll create an alarm and send that video directly to your operator screen. Another one of our customers, ATI Allback, and they manufacture titanium products, and they manufacture them for aircraft industries. So Rolls-Royce, who's creating, you know, these big aircraft engines, customers like that, and they melt their titanium in a special electric arc furnace. And their regulation is that the entire melt or batch needs to be recorded. If it's not recorded, let's say the video goes down, the DVR gets too full, they have to throw away the entire batch of titanium. Very expensive if, you know, if you mess up with the video recording. And that's one of the reasons they chose LongWatch, to make sure that we're recording all the time. They also record their operator screens using the Confo Recorder to record the operator interaction. And then they go back in time to understand why this was a good batch of titanium, why this was a bad batch of titanium, and step through the manufacturing process step by step. And lastly, from our metals customers, Galvant Steel, and this is a screenshot of their actual LongWatch interface they're using. They're recording certain critical areas of their process with our cameras, and they're also recording their operator screen. They're bringing in all of their Wonderware alarms and events, just so they can click on those events and bring back the video that occurred at that time. They're also using the Wonderware historian to, you know, see where there are spikes or anomalies in their data and be able to go right to that spike and see what was happening on the plant floor as well as their operator screen. So they're really using the LongWatch product to its full extent. Okay, so another manufacturing story that I like to tell is Bridgestone. So Bridgestone Tire, this is down in South Carolina. They have a huge facility they were building, a brand new $1 billion manufacturing and testing facility. And what they're making are off-road tires for the mining industry. All right, so these are big 12-foot diameter tires that you'll see on some of those huge, you know, dump truck looking, you know, mining hauler vehicles. And they make 16 tires a day, that's it. And each tire goes for about $75,000. Okay, so the reason they chose us is because they have a high incentive for a flawless product at $75,000 per tire. And that's analogous to the metals manufacturers. They have a high incentive for a flawless product. They want to make sure this product is perfect, and they want to understand if there are any flaws in the product and what happened. So we provided 500 cameras mounted to the process equipment. We have magnetic mounts that we offer, so you can just place these cameras. You don't have to drill into the process equipment. Very easy to mount. All of our cameras, again, are PoE, so it takes a few minutes to install our cameras. They're doing live viewing on the thin clients. They have these massive pieces of equipment that they have to view. Hard to reach areas, they want to make sure they can see those, and dangerous areas where they can't be. They want to be able to see what's happening there. They're using our video storing to review the process, just like our metals manufacturers, and they're recording their operator screens on the thin clients. They're using ACP thin clients, I believe, and they're recording those terminal server sessions to see what the operator is doing. All right, so here's some examples of that equipment. Huge 2-, 3-story pieces of equipment. You can see here's an operator station on the main floor, and this is a 3-story piece of equipment. On the top floor, you'll see a conveyor belt. Jam-ups can occur here all the time. So video is a necessity for this operation. The operator is not going to be able to understand what's happening on the top floor while he's down there, controlling the equipment. So precision areas as well. So this is a zoomed-in high-definition image of a wheel with a groove in it. And what happens is they run a steel wire through that groove, and that wire is wrapped around the tire to create the steel belt. That wire can jump off that track, and if the operator is not able to see that, he can have a bad shutdown event that can cause some issues. So being able to see that and immediately react to it is important. So these are hard to reach areas. This is a transfer point where rubber is dropped from one conveyor belt down to a second conveyor belt. A lot of jam-ups can occur there. They want to be able to see that immediately. This is a dangerous area, so a cutting station where rubber is cut. They can't even get into that area because there are light curtains there that will stop the system if they walk in. But they need to be able to see those areas. And then lastly, I want to talk about, and you can see the size of these tires that they're creating. I want to talk about linking islands of expertise. And this is something that in a manufacturing environment is very important. And it's a very hard problem to solve, but with the LongWatch system, you're able to solve it. And islands of expertise are basically these different parts of the manufacturing plant that do their own specific tasks. So you have a raw material provider, you have, the cutting system, you have the conveying system, you have the steel belt, island. Each island does its own job and it knows what it's doing. But it has to communicate to the other islands so that they know what's happening. If the raw material provider shuts down or has a stoppage, the next guy in line really wants to know what's happening so he can prepare his system for what's happening. So in order to have a cohesive plant and manufacturing process where all of these different islands of expertise are communicating, one way to do that is with video, so that you can see exactly what the other areas of your system are doing, so the plant managers or the managers of those islands can really understand the other systems that they're working with in much more detail. Okay, so that is the end of my presentation. I want to thank you guys for attending and listening in. If you have any questions, I'm going to hand it back over to Kelly, and she'll take it from here.
Great, thanks, Greg. We do have a few questions that have come in. If you do have questions, again, you can type them into the chat box or the Q&A box in the WebEx window, and then we'll get them answered. The first one, Greg, is what are the best practices for motion detection outdoors? How do you prevent nuisance alarms, like detecting animals versus people?
Okay, so motion detection in outdoor environments can be tricky. Our cameras can detect movement, and that's just basically done through software where they see the colors of different pixels change, and they still say that's movement. And that works great in indoor environments, but in outdoor environments, it doesn't work so well. If you have a gust of wind that has leaves in it, that's movement. If the trees are swaying in the background, rain or lightning, you have a bug that's crawling on the lens of the camera, that's all considered movement. You're going to get false alarms. So what I recommend is hardwired motion sensors, and we have a hardwired motion sensor that is under $200. Very cost-effective motion sensor. You can mount that right below the camera, plug it right into the camera, and have a really efficient motion sensor or a motion detector for outdoor environments, and that's what I recommend.
Thank you. One other question, it looks like, how do I specify a server computer to store my video?
Okay, so, video storage it all comes down to the resolution of your camera and the frame rate of your camera. The higher the resolution, higher the frame rate, you're going to need more video storage, but storage is cheap. Okay, so you can have an array of hard drives all storing your video for a very inexpensive price. And to specify how much storage you need, we have a calculator on our website. So if you go to ivcco.com, you'll see that we have a storage calculator. You can plug in the number of cameras you want, the resolution and the frame rate, and we'll give you exactly how much storage you need.
Okay, great. And it looks like those are the only questions we have. So thank you, Greg. That was a great webinar. And if anyone would like to review any portion of this webinar, a recording will be available on our website, norcal.wonderware.com, later this afternoon. And again, you can find more information about future webinars on our website. So thank you, everyone, for attending. Thank you, Greg, and have a good weekend.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you.